Hello, my name is Joanne and I'm the founder and CEO of PemPem. We empower small businesses in upstream commodity markets. $5 trillion is traded every year in unprocessed agricultural commodities that ultimately end up in your shopping carts. Things like palm fruit and rubber, coconut and cocoa beans, to name a few. In the past, large plantations produced the vast majority of these. But today, 59% of global calories are produced and traded by hundreds of millions of microenterprises who are fragmented, disconnected from digital tools, but have smartphones. A microenterprise is a small business that typically employs 10 or fewer people, is family-owned, and depends on the business for a living. There are over 500 million of these microenterprises across the world who depend on producing and trading commodities. 80 million in Southeast Asia, and in Indonesia alone, well over 10 million. And these numbers have only been growing in the past 50 years. A microenterprise has so far had to rely entirely on pen and paper, cash, and word-of-mouth information through their informal networks of friends and family. But that is not an efficient way to organize and finance hundreds of millions of people. As a result, they earn 30 to 50% less than they could, spend many hours of their day waiting or traveling unnecessarily, and can't access formal financing. This problem doesn't just exist for sellers. It also exists for buyers. They can't find the supply they need, spend many hours traveling unnecessarily, and can't access credit either. PemPem solves these problems by bringing microenterprises in commodity markets online, structuring, financing, and growing their business. I founded PemPem in response to the needs of small producers in Indonesia. At the time, I was doing field research for my PhD at Stanford, and I learned the Indonesian language while living with the local communities. But I have seen the same problem in over 15 years of fieldwork across Indonesia and Malaysia, Peru and Colombia, Cambodia, South Africa, and the Marshall Islands. After my PhD, I went on to become a professor at MIT before devoting myself full-time to PemPem. In PemPem's markets, there exists no digital infrastructure beyond smartphones. So we had to build some foundations first. Access to a network of sellers, online payment channels, and trust. To develop a network of sellers, we launched a price discovery product that allows sellers to explore prices for their offline commodity sales. We now have 5,000 monthly active enterprises, and their business alone represents a GMV of $75 million. To enable online transactions, we developed a payment system that is adapted to a user base where 35% is unbanked. And to further increase mutual trust, we provide financing to users who receive payments for their commodity sales online through us. In June, we are bringing the entire commodity sale online through our marketplace. We acquire our customers through field teams on the ground, who we hire locally, and they build relationships with our users. They're inexpensive. It costs us $15 to acquire an active user. We currently have 23 people on the ground, and we will scale these teams to hundreds of well-trained people. We have started to monetize our users. We launched an experiment offering financing to 25 enterprises. We had 100% conversion and 0 defaults, and we will more than double that number this month. In June, we launched a marketplace, and this will significantly increase our LTV to $1,450 per user per year. That corresponds to a take rate of 10%, which is a discount relative to a 20% that informal brokers currently charge for the same service today. We will grow our field teams to triple the number of active users by end of year and triple that again by end of year 2023 to reach 45,000 active users. If we just convert 5% of that, we will generate $3.2 million in annual recurring revenue. And we will continue to grow from there because our market is huge. If we look at just palm oil, just Indonesia, we have 3.5 million customers. So that leads to an addressable market of $5 billion with just our marketplace product. We will add 6 more commodities in Indonesia and expand to 7 countries to go after a market of well over $20 billion. We have the perfect team to execute this vision at PemPem. JK, our CTO, is skilled in building software that scales to hundreds of millions of active users. Angela brings her experience from Unilever Indonesia, where she has redesigned and implemented their rural distribution network, covering 400 salesmen and 85,000 outlets. And Simon is a son of a palm oil farmer himself and has been my trusted eyes and ears on the ground since I first started working with him. If we are successful, we will not only become the operating system for a $3 trillion commodity trade business, we will also have lifted over 1 billion people out of poverty, and we will meet the global demand for commodities while preserving natural ecosystems. Thank you.